Hello. Time of death 12:04 p.m. Put that sword away. Let's see. And sorry if you heard a nasty cough in the background, folks. That's what happens when you smoke for 50 years. So you know. Zelka suck. I call him suck like that version of spelling. Nope. That might have been too small for you to read, folks. The find and search feature. That's a extremely useful feature on this version of Word, so you know. Yeah, you know, Word. They drop some features, gain new features. I kind of like the auto summarize feature in the older version of Word, even though it didn't work. It made some hilarious results when you put your novel in there and it abbreviated this and that into a incoherent thing. Say it in a more angry tone, in an angrier way. And I want you to end up one of these fools. 1 monk war. Monk war who thought owning a fancy sword made him immortal. So he ended up shot dead by some chromish Zetan grunt. As we'll heard said to Hezlon. Hezlon sounds almost like an Arabian name. It might be. Thanks. Sometimes I use words that are like, you know, might accidentally be actual words. As we'll heard. So, heard that the Japs had that problem. So, let's see, Asians dismissive of other Asian cultures, I don't know. Probably. I mean, the Japanese tried and failed to take over the world, so why wouldn't the Jade be in contempt of them? Sometimes I wish I could go back and change the Japanese and combine them with the Jade. But then, that would be very convoluted. And there would be... Why would they be allies with the Americans at the start of World War IV? That doesn't make any sense. They would charge at me with swords held high. I am, more often than not, were shot dead before they could lop anybody's heads off. It was not a smart thing to use tactics from a century ago in modern warfare. There were plenty of princes and brave warriors among those fools you mentioned. Aswell said, giving Zolka the stink eye. Forgive me for speaking so bluntly. Zolka, I gotta have that apologetic Japanese kind of flavor there. Like, forgive me for my insolence, my lord. Almost sounds like medieval times. But Japan did have a pretty feudal system until like 1870s, I think, when they had that Meiji Restoration. I gotta brush up on my history of Japan, folks. I mean, Japan's history so long, well, you know, makes American history seem like a short story by comparison. But that'll happen when you have thousands of years of history. So, forgive me for speaking so bluntly. But it was foolish. And that was foolishness. And those men those officers shouldn't have been so reckless with their lives. 2 years later, we could use young, brave men of that caliber. As we'll smile at that. Smiled hopefully at that. We're gonna genocide all these people. I gotta remember, if she approved of genocide, because if you approve of genocide, then you don't care if partisans got murdered without any mercy. It's like the Germans. They killed people because they were planning on killing everyone eventually anyway in World War II. And the Japanese slaughtered people in Asia for, well, a lot of reasons besides cruelty and whatnot. And they probably figured a country like China was never going to run out of people they could enslave. So no matter how brutal they were, you know. Don't worry. Jade Empire has no shortage of brave young men. And never will. Never replied. Brave young daughters, too. Bez added. Asvel returned, left her men, and headed for her office. Seemed like 5 minutes passed, and something was going on at the prison. Some riot or revolt. It sounded like a lot of shooting. Over there. General Wagner himself went over to see the situation, protected by bodyguards, massive bodyguards. Actually, there was some VIP as well, the Jade Vampire. A man on up high in the echelons of both the political and military system. Sometimes it seemed, their systems are separate. What was that joke about Prussia? That was a military with a government, not a government with a military. They certainly whooped the butts of the French in the Franco-Prussian War. They tried to repeat that success in World War I, but by then technology had changed a bit, and with machine guns and artillery and stuff, well, let's just say the tactics of the Franco-Prussian War didn't work. But I heard that the French were beaten pretty badly in the initial battles between them and Germany. It's just that Germany got slowed down on the way to Paris, unlike in World War II. But I'm babbling about actual things. I should be talking about fictional things. Asvel, that sounds like the name of an archangel or a demon. Funny that angel and demon names sound so similar, isn't it, folks? Asvel hoped that the VIP was well guarded. It wasn't her responsibility, but she would still feel partially responsible if some VIP got killed on her watch, killed in her city that she was guarding. Her boss, Weigel, was her top concern. She was quite fond of him, and loyal to the man. And she felt like she would be lost if she had to go on without him. Her life was who would be her benefactor with him gone. Where would she end up? Up after being in Liverpool for 2 years. Asvel wondered if the thing she was most afraid of was change. She had grown to her routine life. Her calm and her quiet life in Liverpool. It was almost like being retired from the military, but you still showed up wearing at places with a uniform. We're still a guard, and she felt like she was semi-retired, as in her post at the docks. Ligo got on the horn with Asvel and reassured her that the situation at the prison was minor, that it was a small revolt soon to be put down. How big is the garrison at Liverpool? I don't know. I forget what the standard was for World War II for Germany. Like how many men they had posted at a city, but it ended up stretching them pretty thin at times because, well, you know, Germany had a bit of a manpower problem, and it got worse as the war went on, and they fought in Russia, and that was a war of bloody attrition. Shouldn't have a war of attrition with Russia. They have quite a few people. Let's see, washing hands at the sink. Shoot him. No, that's the next part. Well, Asvel was told to double the guard on the docks and get the security people and arrest anyone and detain anyone suspicious. He was ordered to kill anyone who resisted, and Asvel knew. Decided she would resist that order. Kill anyone who resisted. Or tried to flee detainment. Asvel passed that order, those orders, to her subordinate. That's something fishy is going on in Liverpool, Asvel said over the radio. Hopefully, it won't spread to these docks. Right, sir. Roots replied. Back to Ireland and D. A minute before the shooting at the prison started. Sounds like something's going on. Ireland said to D. Elsewhere in town, they were shooting elsewhere in town. Liverpool was not a place where the guerrillas got in shootouts with the J garrison on a regular basis. This wasn't Zeta or Velka. So this was something. So this was a big deal. It was also going to have some ramifications for their infiltration. The guard would be a lot more alert And they were already on their toes. Toes for some reason. Maybe there was some VIP coming to inspect the place, and the chief of the garrison, dock guards, wanted everybody. Did I call him a sailor? Sailors? Want everyone bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And after all my characters here have been through, it's kind of hard for me to picture them as being younger than me at this point, because it's like they should be older. They seem like they should be older than they are. I had to pour myself a giant brandy. I'm just kidding, it's just water. Water refreshes me more than any alcoholic drink refreshes an alcoholic, I guess. I wonder how people can drink so much. I mean, like I see some old show, guys are drinking whiskey and stuff from like a milk glass. They down it like it's a frickin' kid downing a glass of milk with his birthday cake. It's unbelievable to me. Now back to this. Looks like our gorilla friends couldn't sit. And they're doing something. B said, replied, and didn't bother to speculate. Like what? Maybe at the prison. Arlen replied. Or maybe some gorillas got caught. Hideout. Found by the secret police, and they're having they're going quietly. Who would go quietly at this point? Yeah, quietly. Usually. Some resist, more resist lately. Who would resist? Who would go quietly? That's the thing. If people knew about the Nazi death camps from the start, would anybody have gone quietly? Maybe some old or dying people. But, you know, it's like, if you're gonna die anyway, you might as well go down fighting. It's probably controversial to suggest something like that, but I'm speculating here if people knew from the start what weighed them in them camps. I mean, I would probably rather die. I'd probably much rather die in a bloody shootout than end up in one of those gas chambers. That to me is like one of the worst ways you could die. I wouldn't say it was the worst way to die, but I'm not sure. It varies what people say a worst way to die would be burned alive, suffocation, like you're locked in the back of a trunk, and you can't breathe and you're suffocating in there and you just die. Like if you're like me, that you can't breathe through your nose properly because you're an idiot. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a mouth breather. Words didn't match mouth. I keep going back and forth if one of my characters can actually talk with a reptile-like mouth. Because, you know, it's impossible. I mean, a bird can mimic words, but that's just like, I don't know. That's a strange ability that parrots have, isn't it? You got monkeys. Yeah, monkeys in trees. They're smart. They're probably smarter than birds and parrots, but they can't talk. Maybe they can, I don't know. Asked. Knowing what awaits them in in the camps. Agreed. All replied. I would not go down fighting. He then contradicted his earlier point. What if you thought you could escape? Yeah. The man had escaped those camps. But it was pretty rare. I don't imagine a man as infamous to him as the Jade would be kept locked up pretty tight. He'd probably be executed after interrogation. Not much. He might not even reach any of the camps. It was a scary thought. In a way, the people who ended up in the camps were lucky. Since most people killed by the Jade died. Let's see. Since the Jade killed a lot of people, a lot of guerrillas and suspected guerrillas, where they were captured, rounded up. I doubt they would let me. I'd have the opportunity to escape, Ireland admitted. Escaping some Jade anti-partisan troops would be a lot more likely than getting out of the camp. I suppose they'd put me down quick too. So they put me down quick, he admitted. Since I am a traitor, probably the most hated traitor among the Jade. Yeah. Might hate you more than any of us Allied troops. Ireland replied. D and Ireland. That should be Ireland and D. Sounds like I'm saying the name of a person. Ireland and D. That'd be a cool name for a character, I guess. I thought John Candy would be a cool name for a character if it wasn't already taken by, well, a dead guy. Died of a heart attack in his sleep, I think. John Candy, the actor, but not sure. I'll have to check with Google later. I don't think I ever mentioned John Candy in a story. Why would I? All these stories are set in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. I don't think he was even alive back in, probably in the 1960s. I think he was a young guy when he died. But yeah, this is an alternate universe on top of that, so he's not going to be around even if I manage to get this story to the 1990s, which should take about 10 bajillion years. Oh, and D, we're still pretty far from their objective, but closer to it than their guerrilla comrades. With no alarms were ringing on the docks, but the guards were out in force now, and the civilians were being rounded up and carried off. Trucks brought in about 50 reinforcements. I don't suppose they'd be lucky if the enemies stopped at 50. Was the Operation Fubar now? Arlen debated himself. Should they continue for the chemical weapon to the chemical weapons or fall back? Depend on the conventional assault to get them where they wanted to be. I'm going to continue with the chemical weapon plot to spoil it a little bit, but you know, characters debating their things, it makes it seem more real. Anyway, folks, have a nice day. See you later.